Hello fellow YouTubers, Trouble8385 here with My Computer Life, the very first episode of this series, because it'll be just like My Arcade Life, basically talking a little bit about the history of the game and my experiences playing the games that I loved when I was younger. And this first one, we're going to go over a game I really love, and that would be the Black Cauldron PC game that came out in 1986. It was released by Sierra. The movie was released by Disney in 1985. This is one of the few games Sierra made based on a movie or license in this time frame. And I remember this game because we just got an IBM PC Junior. My uncle had worked for IBM, so it only made sense because the first computer I ever saw was an IBM PC Junior. And I remember getting this game and King's Quest at the same time. Both those games were very similar. PC games back then, you had to type in what to do, like look or open, things like that back in those games. And Black Cauldron was the first game I remember that you actually had some kind of keys like F3 for inventory or stuff like that at the time. And it was the first game I ever played that had multiple endings based on what you did to the Black Cauldron or what had happened to the pig in the game would affect the outcome of the game. And ironically enough, when I played this game, every time I played this game, I got the exact same ending. No matter what I did, I'd always get the same ending. And back then in these games, I remember fond memories of this game. You would get bored or you get stuck and you would just type in crazy things to see if it would work. Because back then you didn't know it didn't work. There was no big, back then there was no big manual or the strategy guide to tell you what to do or where to go. I mean, the only way you knew you didn't go to the right spot was the game kept telling you the same thing when you went back to talk to people. So you had to find where you're going. It was a forest area in the game, I remember, and you had to find something in the forest, and I spent hours in this game looking for it. It took me forever to find it, because in these games they would only tell you an area to go. They wouldn't tell you exactly what to do, and you'd have to find it and figure it out. You'd have to use your brain to figure out either what it was or what you had to do to move on in that game. So you would and when you'd find that thing or you'd find something you didn't see in the game before, you were excited, because in these games back then there was no, you didn't know if you were doing the right thing or wrong thing. You didn't know if you were going the right place, and sometimes when you found that new area, you were excited, and so you would stumble through these games a lot back then because you didn't know what to do. But eventually you would, and the other thing that happened back then is usually, during this time period, you and your friends were always playing the same game at the same time. So you would all be like, hey, what'd you do today? And you're like, well, I did this in the game. Oh, really? Well, I'm here. Well, how did you beat this? Well, I did this, this, and this. And that was a lot that happened back then, instead of going to a website and stuff like that. So, but Black Cauldron, I never seen the movie before I got the game. And I got the game because it looked interesting and because I was interested in King's Quest, so to me it looked a lot like the same game, which in a lot of ways it was. And I had a lot of fun playing that game. It's a game I do want to get someday because I have very fond memories of that game at the time when PC gaming was more popular here. So that's all I got to say about that game today. So till next video.